Hello, everyone. On January 1st, 2025, let's take a moment to enjoy this view. Hope you enjoyed it, because I'll be blocking it now. I just wanted to make this video on the topic of confidence for young men. Um, and I wanted to give some advice that I wish an older sibling, if I had one at the time that I was in high school, had given me. There's two things I want to touch on for young men. I feel like confidence often relates to how you feel others perceive you. So often it's in relation to, especially in high school, like women and getting your crush to like you and looking cool for the opposite sex, um, or also in how you relate to other men in terms of like your groups and your circles and stuff. So I feel like one of the key things that it's important to really learn what it is about your own self that you like, and not worry about other people's perception of you. Obviously, this is like, duh, dude. Like, I know that. Everyone knows that. But how do you do that? What do you mean I'm just supposed to like myself and not really care what other people think of me? So let me start. So in high school, man, like I had tons and tons of insecurities. A lot of them were about me in relation to like crushes I had and thinking that I was ugly, thinking that no one would ever like me. I had like acne on my back. I was like hairy as a kid. I'm like an Indian boy. I don't really care about that now, but growing up, you know, I remember this one time where like we were in gym class and a girl looked at my leg, and I had hair on my leg, and then she like kind of sneered at like her friend and kind of like, yo, like he's so hairy. And like as like a middle schooler hearing that, you kind of like trying to pull your shorts lower and try to hide your body hair and stuff and things of that sort, like self confidence, but then part like how do you get around that stuff, man? It's like a lot of it is you have to sometimes it's easier to tie your self-worth into other things. Like what I would tell myself is that, like, you know what, in spite of everything, I'm a guy who tries to keep his act together. I treat people well. um, I work hard for my family and my friends that I am close to. I know that I do my best to take care of people. I treat people well. I have my head screwed on or straight. If I'm selfish, I correct it. And so a lot of it was like sequential step after step after step of just developing who I am and what makes me happy. I'd be like, you know what? I'm happy that like I have a good relationship with my sister. I'm happy that my sister thinks I'm like a good person. My mom and my dad think I'm like a good person. Um, you have like a kind of like a core group of like people that you care about, and that helps you kind of like distinguish yourself from other people and helps you kind of like develop that identity surrounding yourself. Obviously you have some assistance from outside influence first, which is like contrary to what I was saying before of like you got to develop your self-worth independent of other people. But like at first, just like with anything, you need some training wheels, right? Like you need like people to help you, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But eventually, as you kind of like start putting those building blocks together of like your self-worth in terms of like what you're proud of yourself, like what makes you proud about yourself, eventually like that foundation starts being built step by step. And this can take years, man. Like it's not like I was like confident or like unconfident in grade 11 and then I was like confident in grade 12. Like it took me years, took me a lot of development in university, and I have a bunch of stories to tell about university as well in terms of like how I wanted to make myself like more extroverted and more confident. A bunch of stories in university, which I'll probably get around to. But the point of this story in this little, session today is that I wish kind of like an older sibling just told me like, hey, look, man, it's just start with telling yourself what you like about yourself, what makes you happy about yourself. Like when you go home, like give yourself a pat on the shoulder and say like, I like that I can do this. I like that I can do that. I like that I'm good at basketball, or I like that I like, I try really hard at like ping pong, I like table tennis, even random stuff, man. Like there's so many things about you that I don't even need to know you. But I guarantee it's probably something really cool that you do that you think that might not be cool. But if you talk to me about it, I'd be like, damn, it's pretty sick. And that's really cool. And like you can build your foundations on that, It's like, I do these things and I'm like pretty sick for it. And that's just the first step, And then you kind of like develop your self worth and your self identity after that. And then it doesn't matter what people say about you or to you. Obviously, like, it matters in some regard. You don't want people, we're all human. We don't want people to like not like us. But in terms of like developing that confidence, like taking steps towards like being more confident, I think just talking to yourself and like identifying what you like about yourself is like a really good way to start. And then obviously like more tips and stuff like I'll try to come on in the future to help elaborate on these topics. But as like a good way to start, I think again, learning what you like about yourself is a great way to kind of start building that foundation. And I'll let you guys enjoy this view one more time, and I will see you guys next time. See ya.